right now, I played the audio from the Alex Preddy situation. He's the guy who got shot to death on the 24th of January. But on the 13th, video captured him. Why don't you play that audio part again? And Preddy was having a huge angry fit in the middle of the street. He was angry with ICE officers, and he kicked the taillight of a car in. He spit on one officer, and this is what it sounded like. And he had his gun on him, too, his loaded gun. But in this case, he should have been arrested and charged with a bunch of felonies, but they either didn't see his gun or decided to let him just ignore his tantrum. And, of course, 11 days later, he gets involved in another protest that got violent, and he got killed. Now, this has led to Tom Homan being flown in to take over the operation. He's normally the border czar, and now he's going to run the Minneapolis operation for a time. And it looks like they have struck a deal. They had Trump had sent in an extra 3,000 immigration agents and related officers, and I think that was triggered by all the Somali fraud. They wanted to clean out Minneapolis and good. You know about this unleashed all these subversive groups who interfere with ICE operations. And one of the sticking points, because it's their sanctuary city, a sanctuary state, ICE could never get at the jails and the prisons where a lot of criminals are being held. Either they've been sentenced or they're awaiting trial. And Homan has now gotten a deal that ICE will be told when there is a prisoner available for release, so ICE can then grab him and deport him. So there has been a concession made from the governor, Tim Walz, the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, Mayor Jacob Frey. Yes, ICE agents can come into the jails and prisons and take the illegal aliens who are no longer going to be imprisoned. And so that's huge. In return, Homan is going to be drawing down the number of ICE agents in the area. One reason you have to have so many of them is because they let the criminals out instead of turning them over to ICE peacefully. So now they're out loose in the neighborhoods, and you need a lot of ICE personnel just to get one guy. And these are really bad guys with bad criminal records, violent criminal records. But everyone else is on the table as well, and Homan has reiterated that. It's like, look, if you're here illegally and we somehow discover you, you're going to go too. I mean, by now, everybody should have gotten the message. If you're here illegally, it's probably best to go back home. Because if for some reason we stumble across you, you're gone. So not only is it difficult to track down and chase a criminal once he's embedded himself back in the neighborhood, you have now all these interfering agitator protester guys, which means you need more ICE agents. So they're trying to cut a deal. It's like, you want less ICE agents? Give us the criminals up front. And so we won't have to do these sweeps in the neighborhood, which will lessen the crowds forming and lessen a need to have so many agitators. And Homan is also sick of the hypocrisy. I'm going to play you a clip here about Homan saying, hey, everybody knew the border was wide open and that this stuff was going to happen. Play cut 14.
What started this? 4 years of an open border where millions of people are in this country unvetted. Remember, let's not forget, for 4 years, we were told the border secure. 4 years, we were told the border secure. And we all knew it wasn't. And I want this to be a positive thing we're doing here today. I also want to remember the politicians are continually attacking us. Where were they the last 4 years when the number of women and children sex trafficking went all-time high? Where were they when 250,000 Americans died from fentanyl coming across the border? Where were they when women and children are dying making that journey? Where were they where over 4,000 aliens making that journey died, historic record? Where were they? Not a word. Now we're just trying to respond to what happened the last 4 years and keeping this country safe. And we're arresting a lot of public safety threats, take them off the streets, which make this country safer. President Trump promised to make this country safe again, and that's what we're doing.
It's a bizarre world. They don't care about the deaths of the victims of the criminals. They don't care about the deaths, victims of fentanyl. They don't care about the deaths of the immigrants themselves coming over the border, and all the rape and the suffering that the women and children go through. They don't care. Then they lied about the open border for 4 years, which, of course, is going to lead to this situation when you finally try to enforce the law. And here's Homan saying he begged for 2 months for politicians to stop all this crazy rhetoric egging these people on.
I begged for the last 2 months on TV for the rhetoric to stop. I said in March if the rhetoric didn't stop, there's going to be bloodshed. And there has been. I wish I wasn't right. I don't want to see anybody die. Not officers, not members of the community, and not the targets of our operations. For the people out there that don't like what ICE is doing, if you want certain laws reformed, then take it up with Congress. Again, ICE is making this up. They're enforcing laws enacted by Congress and signed by the President. The same laws have been on the books for the last 6 presidents I worked for. I started with President Reagan and ending with President Trump. Every administration, we enforce the same laws. If you don't like what ICE is doing, instead of protesting this building, go protest Congress. Tell me what changes. You have your First Amendment rights. I support that. You have the right to protest. I'm just asking you to keep it peaceful. But threatening law enforcement officers, engaging in impeding and obstruction and assault is never okay. And there will be zero tolerance. You interfere, impede, assault an ICE officers, you will be arrested.
They're still going to keep removing illegal aliens. They're still going to have their primary focus be criminal illegal aliens. Nobody's going to stop ICE from enforcing federal law. That's their job. And you notice they don't protest Congress. They don't lobby Congress because they don't really care about changing the laws. What they want to do is create chaos in the streets. They want some of their own protesters to die. You are told you got to put your lives on the line. They're expecting some of their protesters to die. That's what they want. It gives them martyrs, and it fuels the cause. Because what they're trying to do is undermine law in this country and undermine our peace and tranquility and stability. That's the purpose. It's not to change immigration law. The immigrants are just a tool here. They don't care about these immigrants. Like I said, they're dying in any number of ways. What they care about is destroying our way of life. That's their purpose.